Yo guys, welcome back to the Transfer Daily YouTube channel where we bring you the latest updates from the football transfer market, and starting off then with Arsenal and Noni Madueke. So it's been revealed in the last few days as Arsenal are starting to become more and more active. We know the strikers are top priority, but they're also looking at right wingers, left wingers, and also centre attacking mid. So first of all, we're going to talk about the right wing position and Noni Madueke. And Madueke is a player who they really like and appreciate, and he is definitely on the list for Arsenal as he consider their options for forwards this summer. So with this one, really, it is just let's wait and see what happens, because from what my understanding is, no bids or proposals have been sent to Chelsea nor the player, but so let's wait and see. So it's still very early stages with Noni Madueke and Arsenal for this summer. So let's be patient with this one. Eze then, who we've obviously spoken about in a previous video, and what is going on with that one. So the contacts took place over the weekend with the agents, etc. And one thing we can say is that Arsenal presented the project to the player, etc. This type of thing, and Eze, after these contacts, is keen on a move to Arsenal, and we know his family also have a connection to Arsenal, but Eze believes he can develop to the next level at Arsenal. So let's wait and see, because with this one at the moment, Arsenal on Crystal Palace side have obviously explored the details of the release clause, etc. That £68 million release clause, this type of thing, so cost of a deal. But I'd say with Eze at the moment, Eze is one that Arsenal are definitely trying to advance on with this one. But it's also careful to think, obviously Arsenal want to sign a striker, but also we have to think as well about Rodrigo, because he is one of the dream targets. So let's wait and see what happens with that one. But Eze, Arsenal are trying to advance on that. The player is keen on the move to Arsenal after discussions over the weekend. So let's wait and see with this one. Noah Lang then and Napoli, and what is going on with this one. So Napoli pushing for the deal. We know Dan Ndoye is another player really could look at if this deal doesn't happen, but the agreement is already there on player side, and it has been now for the last week or so between Lang and Napoli. And yesterday there's been more contacts between Napoli and PSV to try and reach an agreement. And one thing we can say is there's still a gap between the two parties, but Napoli are readying a new bid, but PSV want around €30 million. So that new bid of Napoli will take them closer to valuation, and let's see if they can reach an agreement there. But Noah Lang is only waiting for Napoli. He only wants to join Napoli, and he is waiting for the final green light to then travel to undergo medical tests and then sign the contract to become a new Napoli player. But this one could be a done deal by the end of this week. Let's wait and see. So then, an exclusive news from Fabrizio Romano, and that is Nottingham Forest have agreed a deal to sign Malik Fofana from Lyon. So the deal has been agreed for something around £50 million is from what I know. And what can we say with Malik Fofana? So we've spoken about him with Chelsea and Liverpool before. The player openly came out, his agents did earlier on in the season, and says a dream move is to Liverpool. But for Liverpool to sign him, you'd think a player would have to leave. But there's also many other clubs in Europe interested or have the player on the list, including Bayern Munich, Napoli, etc. So many top clubs are looking at him. But despite Forest agreeing the fee, there is no agreement with the player yet, because Malik Fofana wants Champions League football, but his exit from Lyon is virtually a formality now. After, let's wait and see, because there's many clubs into him, but he wants Champions League football. But let's wait and see if Nottingham Forest can pull off a bit of a shock and convince a player to sign a deal. But the fee is agreed. Lyon also looking for around £50 million with this one, so let's wait and see. But the feeling is that Malik Fofana will reject the move to Forest and will try and get a move to a Champions League club. Bayern Munich then, who we know haven't had much luck at the moment with new left winger this summer. And a new player is Luis Diaz, who we can mention. So yesterday, Bayern Munich approached Liverpool over Luis Diaz, and Liverpool's stance remains the same. It was the exact same as what they did to Barcelona, where Barcelona made an approach, so did Bayern Munich, and Liverpool instantly rejected the approach because Liverpool's stance hasn't changed, is that Luis Diaz is not for sale, and they're prepared for him to stay the 2 years, and then he leaves as a free agent. So for Bayern Munich's side, they will now discuss next steps, probably move on to new targets, but Bayern Munich obviously want to sign a new left winger on Luis Diaz. So is Al Nassr are yet to approach Liverpool. So let's see if Liverpool have a different approach on this one, because we know that Al Nassr, from what reports are suggesting, are prepared to spend around 100 million euros for this deal for Luis Diaz. So let's wait and see if Liverpool do reject that approach, because also we know Bayern Munich and Barcelona are European rivals, really, in retrospective of the Champions League next season. So let's wait and see with this one. Jonathan David then is set to join Juventus as a free agent, and it looks now for the last months that he is destined for the Serie A. Is Jonathan David, with Napoli and Juve both pushing for the signing. And last night, after the Club World Cup loss to Real Madrid, Juventus did close the deal on all the details. So there was little details left that need to be sorted, but last night they did close some details with David's representatives. And now Jonathan David will travel for medical tests, and then he'll sign a long-term deal to become Juventus' new striker. And for Juventus as well, we know they have interest in Victor Osimhen. So let's wait and see what happens with Dusan Vlahovic with that deal, because if he leaves, then Juventus might bring in a new striker. So Jonathan David will join as a free agent. But thank you for watching the video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.